destined to do this. Bred to be stunting. I know I'm the greatest. You ain't telling me nothing. Bitch, I'm blowing up and you pressing the button. Pull up the yak, sprinkle some stress in the blunt, and watch a professional.
Today's episode was brought to you by Roofing Professionals. We are now hiring for great salespeople. Visit certifiedroofingprofessionals.com and send us your 60-second video today.
Gen Y, Gen X, millennials, Generation Me, Generation Internet. You know who you are. You've been crushed, hit hard by this economy.
So if you're dealing with college debt, maybe you're even trying to move out of your parents' house or start a new business. Look, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to be able to produce and to get people to pay you what you're worth.
I'm fighting for your generation. I'm not counting you out. I believe in you. We're here to give young hustlers the advice and tools they need to succeed in the 21st century.
Mike's a little high today, guys. Mike's a little high. What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to Young Hustlers. This is at Jarrod Glandt. My man at Grant Cardone is out getting his hustle on, so I'm bringing you the information today. We got a little thunderstorm brewing outside in the studio, shaking the building a little bit. But I want to talk to you guys today about something we picked up on yesterday, but I do want to hear from you. 305-865-8668 is the number here to get in the studio, get in the conversation, get involved. 305-865-8668. If you're watching the show live right now, in the comments, I posted a link to a webinar that Grant's doing today with Ken Krogh from Inside Sales. It's a free webinar. Go sign up for it now. It's on phone sales and world-class prospecting techniques. The guys are going to light it up and burn it down today. But I want to talk to you guys today about commitment and really how to get committed to success. You know, the folks in this office, these guys here in the studio especially, these guys here are all committed to success at a high level. And we've got a great role model, and we're surrounded in an environment where it's something that is, you know, it's abundant. You see it happening all around, everywhere around you, and not everybody has that opportunity. So for those of you who are in that position, maybe you're a one-man soldier or one-man army, I think that's what they call it, road warrior, working out by, you know, on your own, and you maybe don't have the support system around you. I want to go over some things that you can do today to get more committed and actually keep yourself accountable for it. And this is the second show of kind of a 4-part series moving up into our 10X Everything webinar that's coming up at the end of July here. It's going to be a great webinar. Grant's going to give a lot of good information. And what I like most about the message that Grant has in this webinar is this isn't just about, you know, hey, how can you be more motivated? I think sometimes people kind of misconstrue the 10X message and think that it's all about motivation. And it's really about like, hey, what can you do in every area of your life to 10X the results? It's not about being excited. It's about how do I 10X my finances, my personal life, my relationships, my family, my friends. How do I 10X all of that stuff? And so the 10X webinar, 10xeverything.com webinar is going to be on a roadmap on what you can do to do that. So again, today, how to get committed to success. Now, when Grant and I were on the phone before the show started here, and we were talking with the Inside Sales guys getting ready for the webinar today, and they'd mentioned, hey, you know, do you guys want to promote a link? Do you guys want to talk about anything on the webinar or send people anywhere? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. Let's send them to the millionsonthephone.com webinar. And, you know, Grant was like, we should send them to 10X Everything. And I was like, man, these people are coming on the webinar to learn about phones. Like, what does 10X have to do with the phones? And so after we got off the call, Grant called me back and he's like, man, I think we're doing the wrong thing. I think we need to get him to 10X Everything. And he's like, I said, why is that? And Grant said, well, you know, like people don't understand that like before you develop the skill, like you have to have a few of these 10X characteristics, these 10X traits. And so last week we talked about the mindset, and this week I wanted to get into the commitment a little bit. So 3 things you can do to get more committed to your success. We're going to break down each one into a little bit more detail for you. So hopefully you can take something away from it. The 3 things we're going to cover is get your mindset right. That's something we talked about last week. Number 2 is get clarity on your goals, right? And then number 3, get laser focused every single day. So again, you have to have the mindset, right? And we talked last week about, the successful mindset versus the unsuccessful mindset, right? So what are the traits and characteristics of the successful people? And some of those were, they always look for a way to make something happen, not ways that it can't happen. They believe that they can have influence over their situation and their surroundings and their environment. Where unsuccessful people think they're kind of in a fixed situation, and they're just dealing the card, playing the hand of the cards they were dealt. And so we obviously started saying, you got to transform yourself into this success mindset, always looking for opportunities. And the second thing is getting clarity on your goals. So, you really have to make the decision that you want to be successful in all these different areas. So the decision has to come in order for commitment to be there. So you make the decision and then you get committed. So when you get to that point, when you make the decision of where you want to be committed, like for me, I'm like, okay, well, where do I want to be committed right now? Do I want to be more committed? Yeah, of course I want to be more committed. Do I want to be more committed in my job? Do I want to be more committed to my girlfriend or my fiance now? Do I want to be more committed in my relationships with the people that where do I want to be more committed? Because see, in any area of your life, you can break down where it is that you want to find that next level of commitment. If you're pulling back in an area, if you feel like, man, I really need to, my spiritual, the spiritual side of me, I need to get more committed to that. Anything in life that you want to get more committed to, there's actually a plan and a process that you can use, and I'm going to cover that in the show today. So the first thing is you got to make the decision that that's actually something you want, and then you have to make the commitment to get your mindset right. So get your head right, make the decision that you can, in fact, influence where you're going to go. And then you got to get clarity on your goals. So I want to talk about, specifically what you can do to kind of checklist this all out. And this is something that I do all the time. And I'm not perfect. Like, I make mistakes every single day. I'm still learning. I don't claim to know everything. There's plenty of people that are more successful than me, that are younger than me, but I'm going through this same journey that everybody else is right now, just trying to figure out how can I maximize things. So, number 1 is find the area that you want to get more committed. Let's say that that's work for you. Like, in what areas of work do you want to get more committed? And literally write them down. Like, hey, I want to be more committed in work. What can I do to be more committed in work? And write down your targets. Like you write your personal goals every day. In order for you to get more committed, you're going to have to put attention and focus in an area and push on it. So you got to go through and just write your checklist out. Okay, hey, where do I want to get more committed at work? Okay, I want to make 150 phone calls instead of 100. I want to do 5 demos a day instead of 2. I want to have this many callbacks instead of this. So you got to start making this checklist. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to dig into more. You're on Young Hustlers.
Are you looking for ways to raise funds to increase your local impact? If you're a nonprofit, church, civic group, school, or individual, Funds to Org's Shoe Drive fundraiser helps your cause raise funds while supporting micro enterprises in developing nations. Funds to Org's provides at no charge the tools you need to create a successful, no-calorie fundraising event. Just engage your supporters to collect gently worn, used, and new shoes. We'll transport the collected shoes and issue a check back to you within 48 hours of processing. Sign up now at fundstoorgs.com. That's Funds to Orgs.
We're rebuilding America one roof at a time due to hail and wind damage, and I'm here to bring you the roofing sales opportunity. I am the very best on the planet at implementing success. My business isn't easy. This is going to be a tough job. You're going to get kicked in the stomach, but at the end of the day, this is the easiest sell in America. Are you willing to go to the dojo, to get strong, to learn the moves, to learn how to sell $100,000 worth of commissions in free hail damage roof replacements? I had 4 sales reps make over $200,000. When the hailstorm hits, you must be willing to travel. You must have a little bit of money in your pocket to get through the first 3 weeks. But if you give me 1 year commitment, I can promise you that I give you the steps to make $250,000 in your first year in the business. I want the best, and I will hire the best.
Send your 60-second video resume to certifiedroofingprofessionals.com. That's certifiedroofingprofessionals.com.
Do you love selling? Do you find yourself looking to work with a team of high performers and top earners? It's time to take your skills and abilities and begin to manage your own sales team, work your own hours, and be involved with a global team of amplifiers. Join our team today. GoldFizz International is ready to surpass your current income within 90 days and increase your bankroll by $2,000 per week. Your earnings here are limitless. With easy setup, advanced training, and community support, you have everything you need for your success. GoldFizz, taking you further, faster. Join our team today. Visit goldfizz.com. That's goldfizz.com to get started.
And we're back on Young Hustlers. Woo! So this is Jarrod Glandt, Young Hustlers. You got it. This is the place. This is the time. This is the show, giving you tips on what you can do to get more out of your life. We're talking about commitment today. Coming into the break, we were talking about what you can do to identify the areas you want to get more committed and then put a plan in place. The final step, after you've made the decision, you've got the mindset, you've set the goal and the target, then you have to get laser focused on that thing and just beat it to death, where like everybody around you probably knows what your what do you guys got this over here? Yeah, and where you guys, where you actually have all your attention and push in this one area. I want to give a shout out right here to my man Robert Smith. I don't know if you guys play cornhole. I love cornhole. The game. So we got the custom cornhole from Robert Smith, my man. Let's see, did he get a Twitter handle on here? No, he didn't. But Rob, thanks for sending the cornhole board. We appreciate that. Appreciate your 10x commitment. So look, I want to go to some callers. God dang, man, this ear thing. So I want to go to some callers because commitment is a tricky thing for some people, and I want to hear what your questions and concerns are about it. Jacob from Atlanta.
Hey, what's going on, Jarrod?
What's happening, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. I was just calling because I'm a real estate investor, but right now I'm also trying to start a valet trash collection service. So,
oh, nice.
We were talking about commitment and things like that, huh?
I said I love trash.
Yeah, it never goes anywhere. It just stinks up the joint.
Yeah.
Hey, so I wanted to run my sales pitch by you, see if you liked it.
Let's
if
go.
You didn't like it, it's 30
Let's go.
seconds. All right. Hey, how you doing? I'm with Toss Out Valet Trash Collection Services, and residents are obsessed with amenities at apartment complexes. And we're going to provide your residents with convenient and hassle-free trash collections and junk removal, all while adding revenue to your bottom line and ensuring your property's clean and upscale appearance with our CPDD service. Now, Toss Out will set you above the standard of other apartment complexes without us at no cost to you. Now, are you the person that needs to make this decision, or is there another person in the department I need to speak with?
Yeah, so like for me, like as a third party, I mean, it sounded like you had a lot of good energy and there was some information in there. I mean, I didn't know half of what you were talking about. So if you were assuming you were talking to the decision maker, I think what I would do with that pitch is shorten it a little bit.
Okay.
Because it kind of got wordy. Have a big claim early on. And then ask that question that you asked at the end. Hey, are you the person that I need to be talking with? To be sure that I'm not wasting your time. Are you the person that's going to be involved directly in this decision? If you move that and you can kind of condense that pitch up, it sounded awesome. I mean, assuming that all that stuff you said was true. I mean, I don't know, but it sounded good. I loved your energy. Had good speed, good pace, good tone. Just need probably to shorten it a little bit and make sure that you're actually communicating, right? Like the big thing on a cold call, if this is the type of call that you're making, is that you actually get into communication with people, right? Like so many people will pick up that phone call and let you go through that whole deal and they're not even paying attention. And then as soon as you say, are you the person? They're going to say, we're not interested. And they're going to hang up on you. So like what we do is like, hey, this is Jarrod from Grant Cardone's office. Do you have a minute? Like we try to get them engaged in communication early on. And then regardless of if they say yes or no, we go right into our script. So I would say, hey, have something at the beginning of the call where you actually can get their attention, because you just talk for 25 seconds and you don't really have somebody's attention. They're not going to have a word of what, basically understand a word of what you just said. So that would be my feedback for you, but good job, man.
All right. Thanks.
So again, commitment, man. You know, to get a pitch like Jacob just delivered, you have to be committed. You got to be committed to learning your script. So if it's like, hey, I need to increase my conversion on cold calls, go through the plan. Decide, hey, look, I want to get better on cold calls. Number 2, what's the mindset that it's going to take in order to get me to where I want to be with cold calls? Maybe that's making 50 more calls a day, or again, like having better conversion ratios. Number 3, set those goals and targets. You want to go from 5% connection to 8% connection or 10% connection. Set the target down and then get laser focused on that and come back to it over and over and over again, multiple times throughout the day if you need to. So that all your attention is pushing on the one area. And I promise you'll see results. Let's go to Greg from Missouri. Greg, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up?
You tell me, brother.
Not much. Actually, it's Boston.
Boston.
I don't know how that got Missouri, but...
Greg from Boston. Right on, man. Yeah. That's
First
kind of an
all,
insult. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, Missouri. Let's go with that.
I'm only 16, but I love what you and Grant, your whole team's doing. I'm big fans of it. But I was just on Grant's Periscope, and he said you learned something life-changing. I was curious.
What I learned that was life-changing?
Yeah, he said you learned something recently that was life-changing.
Well, I mean, I learned something every day working around here. The most life-changing thing that I learned, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, that's weird. He said call into Young Hustlers. So
okay, I know what he's talking about. So basically, there was a moment when I made an investment with him recently where I was like, I had this like pre-programmed thing in my mind of protection, right? I wanted to make sure that I had some money in reserves for the just in case. And, that is a life-changing moment. That was a life-changing moment for me because I realized that people always operate off of information that they've gotten from other influences and not necessarily from their personal experiences. And I think that can cripple people. And so it was the slightest little piece of advice, but it really made me pause and say, wow, like not only in this little area of this false thing of having a massive safety net or whatever, but it was like, man, how many other areas of my life am I letting what other people say and do influence how I live my life without making my own decisions? And so that was a big moment for me. And we talked about it more and more. It was like after we had the conversation initially, I hadn't really had a response to it. But then as it kind of started sitting and marinating, I kept bringing it back up to him. And so because it kind of developed and evolved more for me. But that would probably be what he's talking about. All right. Next caller. Good. Greg, thanks for your call, man. Appreciate it. Not from Missouri, from Boston. So look, folks, we're talking about commitment, the burn the ships kind of commitment that's actually going to give you a shot at what you want to achieve in life. Like the, what was the ship guy? He was a conquistador. Columbus? No, it wasn't Columbus. It was, Cortez, when he came over from Spain to Mexico, that was the big story. They burnt the ships when they got there because they didn't want to leave any other option for their conquest. So, look, I think once you get committed to something, creativity actually follows. That's actually something that Grant said. Creativity follows commitment because once you get committed, the details work themselves out. When you make the decision, everything else will fall in line, but the commitment has to be there first. And so when we get back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into commitment on Young Hustlers.
Owning a home has many elements that have to be looked after. One of the most important elements is comfort, and your heating and air conditioning is priority. That's why we stop at nothing to provide on-time service and expertise for all of your heating and cooling needs. We are the comfort experts. We have the solution for all of your trickiest heating and air conditioning needs. That's why we brought you our show, The Comfort Experts. Every week we bring you tips and tricks to improve your home and bring you peace of mind with our quality service tips for home heating and air conditioning maintenance. Visit onehouraircarolinas.com to tune into our weekly updates and services for your home improvement. That's onehouraircarolinas.com today. In becoming an internet marketer, network marketer, internet entrepreneur, or business owner, pay attention to this offer. CPA, known as Cost Per Action, promotes offers to top companies via paid traffic platforms. Imagine positioning yourself as the dominant player in your industry all over the internet, with people seeking you out for job opportunities, your product, and your service, while increasing your income to over 6 figures in 9 months. The Millionaire Mastermind will show you how. Learn through us with step-by-step digital instructional programs, free weekly webinars, and 24/7 customer support. The Millionaire Mastermind is the go-to expert for all resources and training to thrive in this industry. And it all starts with our free 6 Figures to 9 Months webinar. Sign up for your free 6 Figures in 9 Months webinar at themillionairemastermind.com/6 figures. That's themillionairemastermind.com/6 figures. On July 29th, 2015, Grant Cardone will deliver a webcast with over 3 hours of massive content from his best-selling book and seminar, The 10X Rule. You can reserve your seat now for only $49, an $800 value for this life-changing event. Get the formula for wealth creation, the tips to massive action, how to set proper targets, the 4 degrees of action, and everything you need to know about how to achieve your true potential in business and in life. Sign up now at 10xeverything.com. That's 10xeverything.com.
10xeverything.com, July 29th. Sign up for it. This webinar will change your life. I promise you. The 10X rule changed my life. It took my income to levels that were like, I'm getting nosebleeds up here because I'm so high right now. So look, we're talking about commitment today. And, Cortez, the famous, captain conquistador who burnt the ships because he was so committed to his mission. I talked about how creativity follows commitment, and it's this like magical thing that we experience in this office. No matter how impossible the task may seem, once we make the commitment to getting it done, it's like whether it's a webinar and a target we want to shoot for, or a client that we want to shoot for, or somebody we want to hire. As soon as we make that commitment, like weird things in the universe start taking place, and it just ends up happening. So I'm not saying that it's all magic and it'll always be easy, but I mean, look, you got to make the commitment first, and then things start working themselves out. So earlier in the show, I talked about like areas that you can focus on to get more committed. And before I go through my final little check sheet here, I want to take another caller. We got Breerin from Orange County.
Hey, what's going on, Jarrod?
What's happening, B?
Hey, man. This is Brerin Land. It's at Brerin at Twitter. BREARIN. I'm the only one there.
Love it, man. Love it. What's your question, man?
Hey, so we're talking about commitment today. I just recently left my firm and started my own financial planning firm. And
congratulations.
I just wanted to chat with you. Thank you. I wanted to see, because I know you're the leader of in sales. What do you do for your guys to not only make sure they're making the? How do you make sure they're making the right commitments? Like they're cold calling, they're prospecting. How do you keep them on point to kind of make sure they're making the right commitments?
Well, goals are something that we talk about a lot, like not just like monetary goals, like, hey, how much money do you want to make? I mean, certainly it helps when they look around and see people making big money that they'd like to make. But really, like, you have to keep people accountable, and you really kind of have to mold the way that they operate. So like Grant molded me to kind of operate the way that he does when I, had first started working with him. I mean, our organization, would you guys agree that like the company kind of starts molding you because everybody's on the same page and we start moving fast? So I would say, like, as your company's growing, like focus on getting that one, your first person molded to how you want everybody to be, and then try to duplicate that as you grow. Like for us, what we do is we go through and we set accountability targets throughout the day. So we're constantly looking at, hey, how many phone calls you got? Did you do your training in the morning by 9 a.m. first? And then how many phone calls are you at by 12:30? And then how many phone calls are you at 3:30? And then how many phone calls are you at 5:30? So we create an environment that kind of molds people into what we need them to be. And so I think that if you decide what you want, your ideal scene, and then you kind of back into it and say, all right, now let's work with Paulie, or let's work with Rob or Stephanie. Let's figure out what we can do to mold them so that now there's two of us. There's strength in numbers, right? And then you start building out and scaling and duplicating the successful people that you've created. So great question. I appreciate you calling. Breerin from Orange County. Daniel from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. What's up, man? How are you?
What's happening, brother? How are you?
I love it, man. Thank you so much for giving us this time, man, to talk to you and learn from you, man.
I love it, man. Hey, where's one area in your life you want to be more committed?
Well, that's my question, man. I work right now for a great company, Southwest Airlines, throwing bags, and I work for Aflac. Aflac, the insurance give me really good opportunity to grow. Aflac. So my question is, when do you think is the right time to just be full commitment with the insurance company and just quit a secure, stable job like Southwest Airlines, which is a great company, though?
Well, man, hey, that's a great question, man. Like, creativity follows commitment. Once you commit all in, like you've made the decision. That's the mistake people make when they make decisions, is they're not fully committed. We get people that come out here that want to work for us that are still tied to something back home, or they'll move out here and they'll keep their home or whatever in the last place they were at. They keep something to hold them on, so they have that safety net. And the truth is when you eliminate that safety net and you've only got one option, and that's to make it work, that's when your brilliance actually comes out. Like when you get backed up against the end of the corner where you've got one option. It's get out. Like that's your only option. I think that's truly when you're going to answer that question for yourself, is when you make the commitment. If you know that Aflac's the place for you to be, and that the other position that you're working for, even though it's a good company, if that's not where your heart is, and you truly believe that there's more opportunity, you won't truly see and realize that potential in your insurance position unless you commit all into it. So that's a great question, though. A lot of people struggle with that. So I would just say you're going to be most successful in the one that you go all in with. So thanks for calling in. Matthew from L.A., California. Matthew, what's happening?
Hey, Jade. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
That's good. I have a question. I'm a millennial, and I'm one who prefers entrepreneurship and business as opposed to the 9-to-5 grind. And I had a question. Getting into business, sometimes it's delayed to see a profit, and your expenditures kind of are higher than your income. So what would you recommend as a place for a job placement for a millennial like myself that has that hunger for that business type of lifestyle?
Well, I think it goes what it goes back to is it goes back to how you define being an entrepreneur. Like, I believe I'm an entrepreneur. I know that do you guys believe you're entrepreneurs in your position? Like, you have the ability to create. You need to figure out what your definition of entrepreneur is. If your definition of entrepreneur is meaning you work from home and you create your own hours, then you need to find a position that's going to support that. But I can be entrepreneurial. I don't work the 9-to-5 grind. I work the 7:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock at night grind, and I work on Saturdays too. So it's like, you have to figure out what the definition of that is for you. But I think there's a lot of companies that will let you be entrepreneurial and let you be creative and let you kind of use those gifts that you have that are entrepreneurial, that even if you are coming into an office every day, you'll be able to utilize.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure thing, man. Appreciate your call. Paul from Virginia.
Hey, Grant.
This is
Jarrod.
This is Jarrod, man.
I'm doing good. This is Paul, like you said. My business is VidVerve Business Video. That's spelled VidVerve. That's VidVerve, at VidVerve, I should say. You can check out our website, vidverve.com. The reason I'm calling is I was looking for some suggestions on entering into new local markets. So I'm a very, very small business serving other small businesses with video production services. And I'm looking to move my business to an area which is somewhere. And what I mean by that is right now I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So I was looking for some suggestions on introducing myself and my business to a new local market.
Well, like I can be local in Miami to any city in the country. I mean, like I don't think that your ability to be a local provider is determined by your location. I think that just means you can go target any business. I mean, most people that are in the creative space, I mean, if you just focused in one area, I mean, what city are you in?
I'm from Strasburg, Virginia, which is probably a population of like 10 or 15,000. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, like there's going to become a point where you've talked to everybody you could possibly do business with in your area. That probably with 10,000 people won't take too long. But
yeah, exactly.
I think that what you can do is you can put a strategy together to kind of branch out around you. Build successes or build momentum off of successes that you've already created. So if you've already done production work for a furniture store or a lawn care company, or find people that have had success with your program, and then expand out into those areas as you grow your reach. Hey, this is Paul from VidVerve. I recently worked on a project. Hey, do you have a minute? Great. Hey, I recently worked on a project with a company that's very similar to yours, and we had amazing success that increased their sales 35% over a 60-day period. I'd like to share with you what we did for them to see if there might be a fit. Do you
Great.
Would you agree to see me? Can I have 3 or 4 minutes of your time? Whatever.
I have a kind of follow-up question to that. That's a great answer, and I'll definitely use that. But maybe I can clarify my question a little bit more. I'm actually planning on moving my business, so I'm not planning on staying in this area, and so that's why I asked, how can I introduce myself to a market that I have no idea about and nobody knows who I am?
Dude, kick doors in, bro. I mean, you just got to go kick doors in. I mean, you got to go around, you got to beat doors down, you got to pick up the phone, you got to burn, your fingers got to bleed, man. Like you have to create the awareness about you and your company. You are like, you're nothing right now. You're nobody. You're like, obscurity is 100%. So you have to do things every day to break that, whether that's picking up the phone, whether that's knocking on doors. Like I said, a good place to start is going to be with where you've had success before. So use those stories and those testimonials to identify like businesses in the new market, and then go after them and share the story of what you've done with clients in the past.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jarrod, for your time.
Yeah, you got it, brother. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Man, we're talking about commitment today, folks. Leading up to the 10xeverything.com webinar here at the end of July, where Grant's going to go over not just how to 10x your business, but your finances, your relationships, your career, your social media presence. Get in your head the 10x mindset that it's going to be required to be successful in all those different areas. So I want to use an example. We're doing this webinar, subsequently another webinar with Inside Sales today. If you haven't signed up for it already, there's a link in the comments of the show. You can click the link. It's available on demand, so you don't have to be live to watch it, but get registered. We're in a contest, so we could use your help. Go sign up for it. It's free. Help us out. Thank you. But the webinar today is on phone sales, and so I wanted to use that is an example for how you could get committed. So like, I've made the decision, I want to get committed on the phones. That's the first thing. The second thing is what mindset is going to be required for that. So here's a list of things you can do. Mindset, believe you can sell anybody. I want to be more successful on the phone. The first thing I have to do is I need to be more focused on the fact that I can sell anybody that I get on the phone with. Number 2, believe that your product is actually worth 10 times what you charge for it. So take that idea, 10x. Okay, so if I'm selling a $10,000 product, I'm building $100,000 in value. You do not have an option of whether or not you can take this call right now, because I've got the best freaking deal on the face of the earth, and you need to listen to it. Number 3, be willing to call back. It's commitment. Be willing to call back until you're successful, right? So this is Jarrod from Grant's office. Click, not interested. All right, I'm going to call you again. Hey, this is Jarrod from Grant's office. Click, not interested. I'm going to call back again. You got to be willing, make that commitment to continue to call until somebody buys or somebody dies. So number 3 or 4, you got to be committed to knowing your pitch. And I'm just helping you kind of go through how you can make a list of things that will help you get more committed towards being more successful on the phone call, being more successful in a relationship. So number 4, you got to know your pitch. You got to be committed to practicing your pitch. That's going to have a direct impact on how successful you are on the phone. Number 5, be committed to research. Do the research. Do the legwork. Find big claims that you can actually validate and substantiate on these calls. Number 6, know for sure that picking up the phone and being unsuccessful costs you nothing. Picking up the phone and being successful makes you a ton of money. So just know that there's only upside to this phone call. Number 7, believe that you are the lowest price and the best value no matter what. Now, this is an interesting concept for people to kind of wrap their heads around, because just because your price is higher does not mean that you are more expensive. If we provide more value, a longer lifespan of the product, more success for the client, we are, in fact, the lowest price provider. And then number 9, never depend on one call, one action. Okay, so that's just a list of things that you can do to be more committed to being successful on the phone. Now, maybe in your relationship, it's okay. For me, for example, I want to make sure that right when I get home from work every day, Sandy and I have our time, our alone time. Before I get back into work, we have our time where we reconnect. We talk about what happened in the day. We love on each other. We eat dinner, blah, blah, blah. And then I get back into work. Another thing we do, we talk about where we can do better in our relationship. Hey, how can we be more successful as a couple? What can I do for you as a fiance or soon to be husband that will make your life better, that will give you what you want and need, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just about identifying the area you want to be more successful in and then actually going down and putting pen on paper and writing all this stuff out. I mean, it really, truly is that simple. So, I hope those are all things that you can use to become more successful. I want to take a couple more callers before we wrap up here. Tyler from Houston, Texas. What's happening, man? We're talking about commitment today. What's your question? I think Tyler from Houston is gone. Tyler, you there?
Yeah, right here.
What's
Sorry about that. How did you mute? My bad.
No worries, man. So look, man, we're talking about commitment today. What areas do you want to be more committed in your life?
Well, I want to be focused on my company. I want to get into venture capitalism. I think it's pretty cool. I definitely know it's a hard market to get into, but I want to create a market outside of venture capitalism, but has a little bit to do with it, if you know what I mean. And my only thing is, when is the right time to commit to it, although you have a daily life going on? Now.
The longer you wait to commit to it, the longer it's going to take to hit your target. It's now is the time to commit. It's never a, hey, I need to wait for this to get done or that to get done. Remember, creativity follows commitment. Make the commitment first and things will start happening. If I make the commitment that I want to make $180,000 a month and every single day I'm writing that down, dude, at some point you start taking actions that you're like, man, I can't make these phone calls anymore. I can't reach out to these prospects anymore. I can't work 9 to 5 anymore. I'm going to have to expand the hours in a day that I work so that I can get closer to my target faster. So I would say there is no other time than right now to commit to any goal that you have. So that's a good question, though, because a lot of people get caught up in all that and they procrastinate and they delay their decision. They get paralyzed in the decision. Dude, just go all in, commit now. Mia from Miami, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. And you?
Great, enjoying it so far. So I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and my husband is doing really well with his air conditioning business here in Miami. But I also have my own hair and makeup business. I'm originally from New York. That's based in New York, here in Miami, and also Atlanta. So my struggle with commitment is I see the market and I see where his business could really grow here. Separating my day to put my energies towards helping him with his business, and it's a great idea that I want to focus on, and focusing on where I want to see my company grow.
So you're kind of torn. You're kind of torn between supporting your husband and growing his business, and you know, doing your own thing and growing your own business. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes.
Well, look, I think you just need to get true to what's going to give you the most satisfaction. I mean, certainly the argument could be made that, like, if your husband's company is growing fast and there's more opportunity there, that means that you may, for now, have to be more supportive of him and growing his business than you are of yours. But I don't think that you should ever abandon a passion of yours. You know, I don't think you should ever give up on what you want. You know, Grant talks about it all the time. He's like, you know, my goals and dreams were goals and dreams before I met Elena and before we had the kids. And so, you know, those are things that you'll always have with you, Mia, and that will always live inside of you. And I think that to deny that and to not give that attention or commit to that and growing that and developing that, you know, I think that would probably be the wrong thing long term. Even if short term, it makes more sense to commit more to your husband's business.
Oh, thank you. That was so helpful because that's what I was fighting against. And now that you said that, it just makes so much sense. So,
and that's why you called. That's why you called today.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for the call, Mia. I really appreciate it. So look, guys, 10xeverything.com. That's what this is all about. This is about what you can do to 10x your life, your business, your finances, your relationship, everything that you want in life that is good. How can you multiply that by 10? So sign up for the webinar. It's July 29th, 2015. Okay, you can sign up at 10xeverything.com. It's a $49 webinar. It's a $49 investment. It's going to be at least 3 hours. There's tons of free stuff that Grant's giving out. A free success guide or the free 10X exercise that we're giving out immediately. So right when you purchase it, you're going to get the 10X exercise. Just this alone, you're going to have like your aha moment just off of this, and the whole investment will be worth it just for this exercise, I promise you. Not only that, but next week before the webinar, you're actually going to get the entire ebook to go through it before anybody else sees it or hears about it. You're going to get a big, fat, juicy ebook to go through and start digesting the content, preparing yourself for the webinar that'll be the following week. On the webinar, dude, I have no idea what Grant's going to give away. I know that he always has surprises up his sleeve. I know that he always likes to over-deliver and give a ton of value. So just don't miss this. I promise you, if you're thinking at 2X or 3X right now, 10X is the only way to live. And this webinar will get you where you need to be to get on track to 10X levels. So look, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. Make sure you comment and post on the show here. Super Gel Products, thanks for coming by. Keith Dixon, Get Freed, my man, Freed. Jack Schoenberger, Chad Pittinger, Alan Stout, T-Free 181, Joey Perez, GC. Thank you guys for your comments and posts on the show. And remember, the only people that have given up on the hustle or condemned the hustle are the ones that have already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Today's episode was brought to you by Roofing Professionals. We are now hiring for great salespeople. Visit CertifiedRoofingProfessionals.com and send us your 60-second video today.